In this lesson, we'll focus on the most useful bar chart in After Effects. I'm referring to the levels histogram. I'm going to show you how I like to use it and what I find it most useful for. After Effects has no histogram panel, unlike Photoshop, and so the histogram that you have most accessible is right here in Levels. And when I make adjustments to the image, nothing changes from the histogram, but it does help me decide how to make those adjustments. So for example, I pulled input black, that caret up, to just basically even out the black and white levels, bring them in, and bring more contrast into the blacks. And you can see the result in the image. If you want to see the result in a histogram, you need to add a second levels effect. Well, that's one way to do it anyway. So what I sometimes do is actually even rename that histogram. Now, I don't always have to do that, but since I've done it here, let's take a look at some of the signals you get when you look at a histogram. First of all, there's this spike at the bottom. That's 1 pixel wide. Each color from 0 to 255 gets a single pixel line. It's a bar chart. The reason this one is so tall is because I brought in that input black, and that built it right up. So I packed all the blacks that were sitting down here into that one value. That's called crushing the blacks. Clipping the whites has the same effect at the other end of the spectrum. So one of the things that the histogram is most helpful for is just adjusting contrast like this and deciding how far to go with it, in addition to just using your naked eye. Now, if you go too far with it, there's something you need to watch out for. So I'm going to push really hard on the contrast. And obviously, if I look at the image itself, it might not be looking so hot. But I can also see down here in this second histogram these big gaps. That's a sign that I'm getting quantization. Let's take a look at what exactly that means by focusing on this gradient layer for a moment. Now you notice the gradient layer is not displaying a histogram. If this happens to you, you may find that going to a different frame helps it show up. Or you can try toggling it on and off. But if that doesn't work, you're kind of stuck. You actually need to purge all memory and disk cache. That's kind of a bummer because whatever you've saved in RAM Preview, undos, even from other projects, it all gets blown away. But you do get your histogram back. So here, the histogram doesn't look that useful. What it's doing actually is mimicking what's happening in this gradient. The gradient is giving 1 pixel black to white, and it looks like there's one extra one in the middle, and that's exactly what the histogram itself shows. So again, if I add a second levels effect to serve as a histogram, I won't even bother renaming it this time, and I really crush in on this, you're going to see the ultimate problem with going too far, and we're working right now in 16 bits per channel. Let me actually switch that to 8 so you can really see this. 16 bits per channel solves the problem that I'm going to show you, which is banding. So all that nastiness there. Notice if I go back to 16, it goes away. That actually is the whole reason that 16 bits per channel exists. But you may not often find that you need to push an image that hard. There are other ways that you can get banding in an image, and you'll need 16-bit to solve it. In any case, you can also see again the gaps. They're very short, that also give you a warning that there might be a problem here. So that is the brief summary of how and why I pay attention to the histogram in After Effects. You'll see me use it and refer to it throughout this course.